Do you know the boy who failed school but later changed the universe? His name was Albert Einstein, and today you'll learn English through his amazing story. Stay with us, improve your English, and get inspired by a real genius. Don't forget to subscribe for more true stories and easy English learning every week. Let's begin. Albert Einstein. The storm outside was loud, but the boy inside the small German house was even louder. Why do I have to go to school? Young Albert shouted, throwing his books on the floor. His mother, Pauline, sighed. Because, Albert, you must learn. It's what children do. But they teach me things I don't care about, he said, frowning. Albert Einstein was not like other children. While other kids played games, Albert stared at the stars. He asked questions no one could answer. Why does the compass needle move? What is light made of? How can time be real? His teachers didn't like his questions. They thought he was a troublemaker. He doesn't follow the rules, one teacher said. He won't become anything in life. But Albert didn't care. He didn't want to follow rules. He wanted to understand the world. One day, when Albert was 5, his father gave him a simple gift, a compass. It changed his life. He watched the small needle move as if by magic. No matter how he turned the compass, the needle pointed north. Albert was amazed. What makes it move? Why doesn't it stop? He asked. His father smiled. It's magnetism, son. Albert didn't fully understand, but that mystery lived in his heart forever. From that day, he became obsessed with invisible forces, things you couldn't see, but knew were there. As he grew older, he kept asking questions. He read books far above his age. He loved math and physics. But even then, his school didn't see his talent. You have no future here, his headmaster told him at 16. So Albert left school. He wandered, unsure of what to do. He played violin to relax. Music made him feel free. Then, something strange happened. He wrote an exam to get into a special school, the Swiss Federal Polytechnic. He failed, but not completely. His math and physics scores were excellent. The school saw potential in him and gave him another chance. Albert was happy. For the first time, he felt that someone believed in him. But life was still hard. After graduation, he couldn't find a job. No school wanted to hire a young man who didn't follow orders. Finally, after months of searching, Albert got a job at a boring place, the Swiss Patent Office. He read other people's inventions and checked if they worked. Most people would hate such a job, but not Albert. He used the quiet hours to think, and think, and think. Something big was coming, something that would change the world. Albert Einstein sat at his desk in the Swiss Patent Office. His job was simple: read inventions, check them, and stamp papers. But his mind was never quiet. While he read about machines and tools, his thoughts wandered to light, time, and space. He began to ask bigger questions. What if time isn't always the same for everyone? Could light be both a wave and a particle? Is there a secret rule behind everything in the universe? Most people around him had no idea that the quiet clerk was thinking about the nature of reality itself. At night, Albert would go home, drink some tea, and write. He didn't have a lab, expensive tools, or assistants. All he had was paper, a pen, and his mind. In the year 1905, something amazing happened. Albert published 4 papers in a science journal. Each one was incredible. Together, they would later be called the Miracle Papers. Here's what they were about. 1. Light as particles. Albert said light isn't just a wave. It comes in small pieces, called quanta. This idea helped create a whole new science, quantum physics. 2. Atoms and motion. He explained how small particles like atoms move and hit each other. This helped prove that atoms are real, which some people still didn't believe at the time. 3. Special theory of relativity. This one was shocking. Albert said that time and space are connected, and they can change depending on how fast you move. 4. E equals mc squared. This famous equation showed that mass and energy are 2 sides of the same coin. It meant that a small amount of matter could become a huge amount of energy. People were amazed. How did this young man, with no university job or lab, do this? They asked. But at first, not everyone believed him. His ideas were too strange. Some scientists laughed. Others ignored him. Still, a few brilliant minds noticed. One of them was Max Planck, a famous physicist. He supported Albert and invited him to speak. Slowly, Albert's name began to appear in more and more places. Universities invited him. Scientists began to quote his work. He was no longer just a quiet patent clerk. He was becoming a scientific star. By 1909, Albert got his first job as a professor. He was finally being paid to think. But he wasn't done. He had a new question now. What happens if we include gravity in my theory of relativity? No one knew it yet, but Albert was about to change the world again. He would need 10 years, a lot of math, and the courage to challenge everything science believed about the universe. Albert Einstein sat at his desk, surrounded by papers filled with strange symbols and drawings. It was the year 1915, and he had been working for almost 10 years on a single idea, something that could explain gravity in a new way. Everyone already knew about Isaac Newton's law of gravity. Things fall because the earth pulls on them. It worked well for hundreds of years. But Albert felt something was missing. He believed gravity wasn't a force pulling things, but something deeper, something connected to space and time itself. What if space is not flat? He asked. What if it can bend, twist, and curve? He imagined space like a giant sheet. If you put a heavy ball, like a planet, on it, the sheet curves. A smaller ball, like the moon, rolls around it. Not because it's being pulled, but because it's moving along the curve. That was Einstein's big idea. Mass bends space and time, and that's what we feel as gravity. He called it the general theory of relativity. It was bold, it was beautiful, and it was strange. But how could he prove it? He said that if his theory was true, then light from stars should bend when it passes near the sun. But this could only be tested during a solar eclipse, when the sun is darkened and stars near it become visible. In 1919, during a total eclipse, British scientist Arthur Eddington led a team to test Einstein's prediction. They took pictures of the stars near the sun and compared them with the stars' normal positions. The result? The light bent, just as Einstein had said. It was official. Einstein was right. The universe really was stranger than anyone had ever imagined. When the news reached the world, Einstein became a global celebrity overnight. Newspapers wrote, "A new Newton. Revolution in science." Einstein explains the universe. But fame didn't change him. He still played the violin, still walked slowly, still wore the same old clothes. When asked for his autograph, he'd smile and say, "Why do you want my name? I don't even know yours." In later years, he spoke out against war, racism, and the use of science for violence. He was deeply sad when his famous equation, E is equal to mc squared, helped create the atomic bomb. He said, "The world is a dangerous place, not because of those who do evil, but because of those who watch and do nothing." Albert Einstein died in 1955, but his ideas still live. Today, GPS systems, black hole research, and time travel theories all depend on his work. He taught us that imagination is more important than knowledge, and that curiosity can change the universe. Albert Einstein showed us that you don't have to fit in to stand out. You don't need to be perfect in school to change the world. All you need is curiosity, courage, and a little bit of imagination. Keep learning, keep dreaming, and remember, the next great idea could come from you. If you enjoyed this story and learned something new, like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more inspiring stories and easy English lessons. See you in the next video.